Hello, everyone. My name is Edward Osredkar, and I'm the host of Edward Osredkar'S Entertainer Chat. And today I have double the pleasure of talking with both John Vamvas and Olga Montes, actors, filmmakers, among all other different things, very talented two individual performers. And so welcome to my show, John and Olga, and how are you both doing today?
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, everybody out there. Well, we just got back from
Pittsburgh.
Barcelona, back to Montreal, drove to Toronto, did a festival in Toronto, drove to Pittsburgh, did a festival there, and we just got back. We've been
Yesterday at 6:30 a.m.
We've been gone for 30 days, but we are doing great.
Yes.
Good. Well, yeah. I mean, you both of you look like you're doing great, and you're ready for anything on this interview. And I know I was messaging you both just the other day. You were back on your way to Pittsburgh and all other points, Niagara Falls, and this and that, and so yeah, it's like you've just been knocking it out of the park with all your films and being nominated and getting best film and best actor, best actress along the way. So yeah, it's a pleasure to have you on my show, both on my show.
It's our pleasure.
Yeah, and I thank both of you for graciously accepting my invitation to be on the show. We're going to have a lot of fun. Everybody else has a lot of fun. I do. My guests do. Everybody out there in Zoom, YouTube, TV, or whatever land. So we always have a lot of fun. And what I usually like to do when I start off my shows, I sort of like to get an idea of my guests, the performers, whether they're actors, actresses, directors, producers, writers, dancers, whatever, to sort of get like a whole picture, of who they are, to get them know better, to get to know them better, and so everybody out there knows you better. So I'll pose this first question to both of you, and just jump in. Whoever wants to answer first, have at it. I always tell everybody this is just like a conversation between good friends at a restaurant, sitting at a table, having a cup of coffee, tea, or whatever potion is your favorite. And so I'll pose the question to each of you. How did each of you become interested in acting and then filmmaking?
Go ahead.
Well, for me, it was ever since I was a little kid. I was extremely, extremely shy. If anybody spoke to me, I would turn red and start crying sometimes. But then I discovered stand-up comedy that I would do for my sister. I think I was like 9 or 10 years old. And then I auditioned for a play. They were renting our theater in my high school. We had a beautiful theater, and a company rented it. And then they held auditions, and then I got the lead. It was 10 Little Indians by Agatha Christie. And then I discovered that Olga could leave, and whoever could come in, use my body or use Olga's body to do what they had to do. And she was brave or this or that and outgoing, and I wasn't shy anymore. And so it was so much fun to take Olga out and to let whoever needed a body to speak do their thing.
Right,
and so
right.
when it came time to go to university or college, I'm fluent in languages, and so I just naturally thought that I would be an interpreter or a translator. And then there was a theater program, and I said, well, I'll try, because it's 600 people and they only accept 20. I'll never get in. But I got in. And so then I got into the languages programs too, and the other colleges. And then I asked my dad, I'm like, what do I do? He's like, you're young, go have fun. And so that's what happened.
Right. Yeah, isn't it I don't know if this is the right term for it, like strange or funny, that like those of us that are like in the entertainment industry, performers, it's like I don't know if all of us were, but like some of us, like you were just saying that you were like shy when you were a kid. I was the same way. It's sort of the same way. Like when you're growing up, it's like being so shy, you didn't even say boo, like that. You didn't even say boo. And yeah, I can remember like early on in my like grade school days, small grade school days, you'd have to do like the book report or show and tell, get up in front of the class. And it's like in those days before I knew that this was my destiny, it's like I would always feel like my upper lip starting to twinge. I don't know if you had, because, nervous, all the kids are looking at you and, oh my God, I got to do a good job. And so like the more you're aware of it, the more nervous you get and the more your upper lip quivers. So, yeah.
Mine only quivers when I get to kiss her. For myself, I was an outgoing kid. I was one of 4 brothers, one of 5 children with my sister, and my dad would bring in some members of the family, be Greek, and I'd be the first one to greet him with proper Greek, whatever I learned. Tikanuten. I was outgoing, and I was always the kid that wanted to be funny. I'd be funny in class, getting a lot of trouble for it, but I never planned to be an actor. So, like in my mid-20s, I think. I used to party a lot. I would sleep in the morning. I'd leave my TV on, and I had first choice. I can't remember what paying channel we had, and it kept on playing a film called A Streetcar Named Desire with Marlon Brando, who I didn't think he wasn't at the time. And he'd always be like, "Oh, so you're Stella's sister? Where's the little Stella?" And I'd say, "Who's this guy? He's so annoying." And then I decided to sit down and watch the whole film, and I realized that it was The Godfather, from The Godfather. And
okay.
Like I'm off, I kind of refused. I was trying to mimic him, and then I started watching all his films, and I fell in love with his style. So I took a few courses. I ended up with this wonderful acting teacher that was the understudy of Van Bancroft.
Very good.
She was doing The Miracle Worker. Her name was Carol Shammy. I learned my basics from her. I went on. I got myself this incredible improv teacher named David Arkin from LA that taught me how to improvise, and I think that's where my creativity came out. He told me from nothing you can make anything. Focus on one thing and just let it grow. And then we met after we were doing a play. I was directing, producing, starring in a play called A Hatful of Rain. Hired her as Celia, didn't want her, and would ask me, my producers, my partners, "Why don't you want her?" I said, "I'm going to fall in love with her. But she's the best." And then we end up taking her because I asked her a question. "If you don't get the role and we give you the understudy, are you in?" She goes, "No, all or nothing." And I said, I want her. She's like me. And from there, we got together. We started doing plays, and we ran into a man named William Massa Simone. He's a famous playwright from the States. Also, he's a so 1992. We did his play called The Wool Gatherer, and we connected with him. He called us back, which was couldn't believe he did. And we were asking for another play, and he was telling me a few. I said, "No, I don't like him." And he goes, "Well, write your own." And I said, "Sir, I don't know how to write." He goes, "Don't ever tell me you can't do something."
Ooh.
And that's where we started. And I sat down. We started writing our first script, which was called Cocaine Eyes. And that script played. And
in 1994.
And from there, it brought us all the way to Scarpa de Tremente and to another script that we'll talk about later called Werewolves.
Yeah.
So I had a mouthful to tell you.
You're talking about the improvisation, and it's like, it's like that's invaluable, because I remember years and years ago when I was first coming up, my acting, I got through, theater training, local community theater, summer stock theater, and so this one local community theater here in my area, they offered like improv classes like once a week. And, it was maybe for, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 hours, like every Saturday morning. And the first thing that the director did, he was also the director of the community theater. So he also had these free, improv workshop. So he gathered us in there. And so he sort of like split us up into groups. And so, he'd get to your group. He might have split it up into maybe 3 or 4 people in a group. So he might say, "Okay, now you 4 are next. Okay, sit on the floor." He says, "You 4 are deserted or are marooned on a desert island. Go." That's all he gave you. You had to take that idea, run with it, use your imagination, and this and that. And I can't say enough for improv training. It's like
That's what it does. It teaches you to be spontaneous. And as theater actors, no matter what happens, if a line is missed or anything, boom, you're there, you're awake. I think it's one of the most important things that students. I never went to school. I either found or they found me.
Yeah, me either. Yeah,
certain teachers. I was lucky. Me, it's more the way I grew up. I grew up street, and I started learning. And I like watching people and learning from them. And then when I joined with Olga, and Olga just academically, she was incredible, which I didn't have. I barely knew how to read. On the first play we're doing together, she goes, "Oh, you read so well." I said, "I'm not reading. I just know it by heart because I'm embarrassed if people see that I would read slowly and then I'd get it right away."
Okay.
So then I learned with her. I learned diction. I used to talk about 100 miles an hour. I used to be so fast. Calm down, she would tell me. Taught me diction, and I use that little techniques to get into.
Right. So Olga, do you have like a lot of improv training as well?
I guess I did a 3-year theater program, and there was improv and like all of that. Like, we always had improv classes, improv, and like in not just acting, but in movement and in dance and like in a lot of things. Like they would just make us like we would also be part of like the police tech. We would do like situations for them, like the kids that were training to be cops, because they were the police tech at the college, also the academy. And so they would like
the school, John Abbott.
At John Abbott College in Montreal and in Canada. And so they would just like tell us like in our ear, the teachers, okay, you're a couple and you're in a domestic dispute. And so the cops would like knock and they had no idea what they were walking into. And so we would just have to improvise like whatever and like come up with crazy situations that the cops didn't know how. These kids like that were training to be cops had to like learn how to like what to do and how to do it. And sometimes to be violent or whatever, and they didn't know what we were going to do. And to me, that was so much fun to do that.
Yeah. I can vouch for that too, like on stage, because I remember a very long time ago, I forget what play it was, but we were all standing on stage, and it was like in my younger years, like in the lower grades, and I'll always remember this, that there came a point in the play where it's like everything like just stopped and we were all looking at each other. And so the person that had the next line didn't know what to say, forgot about the line. And so, it's like we were all standing on stage there, being like younger kids. It's like, oh my God, it's like, what are we going to do now? The audience, they're all looking at us, expecting us to, perform here. And so finally somebody came out with a line, but it happened to be a line that was like 3 pages ahead of the script. It was the correct line, but it was like in the future. And so, like sometimes when you look at a script, you can almost see it in your mind. You can see the pages and the page numbers. So it's like I'm standing there and it's like, okay, they were on page 5. Now we're 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or however. And so in my mind, I finally found where they were in the script. And so it's like I said my next line to keep things going like that. But in the moment, it was like terrifying. But then when I thought about it afterward, it's like, wow, it's like, what a rush, right?
Yeah, it is a rush.
Yeah, and it's really not terrifying, especially if it's your own scripts or your own plays.
Oh, yeah.
The audience don't know what you're going to say. And it's being an actor is a confidence game. If you're confident, sure, mistakes could happen. You can bring it back. We've had situations on stage, forgotten, too hot, ready to pass out because the air conditioner wasn't working.
Yeah.
You'd go blank or I go blank, and one will bring the other. But we have a connection. Olga and myself. I've worked with some incredible actors in Montreal, but the day I met her, I met my magic. From one eye to the eye, from my right eye to her right eye.
Right.
And if something's going on, we pick it up. I don't know what it is. It's magical, and I'll keep it. Yeah. We're together 31 years now. We're married 25, 6. We're living with each other. We got married 25 years ago in August 18, and we work better off each other. I mean, individually.
Yeah. But it was from the first moment, like before we were dating or anything. As soon as we started working together, it was like we could read each other's mind to say like, pick it up or take it this way. Like we didn't even have to say anything. It was like we knew.
And we're very like very comfortable with each other, as you saw in Scarpa di Cementi.
Oh yeah.
To live where a lot of people are saying what, and they find it very sensual, and to us it's just our everyday talk. We always talk this close,
Right.
And it engages the audience. I think, I see them getting involved. So I'm lucky,
I'm lucky.
She's lucky.
Well, you're both lucky. Yeah.
Not that we have it with other actors. I've had it with other actors too. I've worked with some great guys and other girls, but not the way we work. So we're pretty lucky.
Right. That comes across so well on the screen, like you're talking about Scarpa Cementi there, and it's like you can tell like the electricity going back and forth like that. It's like total.
And there's no acting. It's not a lie. There's no acting. There's no memory.
No.
It just all comes out. There's a scene that I had to shoot in the opening, and like, where do I look? It had to be straight to the camera. Where do I look? So my cinematographer Renee tells me, well, look at the little Yoda he had. He had a little Yoda. Look at that and deliver your lines. And I was just running in my head, looking at it. It's like a 3-minute monologue. And I'm looking, I said, no, it doesn't work. He's a narcissist. Let him find himself in the lens. And I think that's the only part of the film I felt like it wasn't real, because I had to look at something technical, because the rest was Olga and myself, like I'm always looking at her. It never felt like acting. It felt like the characters are going.
Right. And that's when it's most real, when it doesn't feel like acting, when it feels like real life and you forget about that there's a script or there's
stage direction. Euphoric.
Yeah.
It's euphoric. There's nothing higher. I couldn't win a lotto ticket to make me feel as incredible as I felt the 10 days we were shooting the film in the hotel. It was euphoric. I was calm. I was enjoying it. A lot of things were going on, but I let them pass because I said this could be my only magic moment in my life. I don't know if I'll get to do another film one day. You never know what's going to happen. So I was enjoying it.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the important thing, to enjoy. And you're talking about your film Scarpa Cementi, and like I've said, you've had a lot of success winning awards at film festivals for that film, and in particular, best actor, best actress awards, and best feature film. First at the
Yes.
Yeah.
We have to say the yes. We have to plug yes. Not the yes. Sorry. Skip Town. Yes.
Skip Town. Oh yeah, that's right.
Skip
that's
Town.
where.
Yeah, in East Hollywood.
Vincenzo Carubia. He's the festival director, and we were so lucky. He awarded us with 7 awards.
Yeah.
We're stunned.
Yeah. Well, I mean, deservedly so. I mean, the film and your performances, I mean, they were right up there. So, I mean, you deserved all the awards that came to you. So, yeah, it was.
But it's still shocking. Like now, like this is it. Scarpa di Cementi. We're at with 115 awards, with the one that we won in Pittsburgh a couple of days ago.
Every award you win,
it feels like the first one,
and
I'm shocked because it's our first film. We've never made a film before. We're theater people. We were going to take Scarpa di Cementi to off Broadway. Broadway shut down because of COVID, and so Johnny said, "Let's make a film." We didn't know anybody except for one person on the set. And so everybody that was hired was there based on their demos, and we didn't really know what we were doing, but we knew what we wanted. We knew where we wanted to go, and we had so much advice: cut out dialogue, get sex scenes, could change the ending.
We didn't listen to anybody.
And we said no, and then I know I have 35 years in the film industry. I know how festivals work. You need to do this and that, and so maybe it would work. But we knew that we wanted to do something different. And we didn't want to do something to be so that the festivals could like us, or so that this person can like us. We wanted to do something that we would like and that we would be proud of. And that's why it freaks me out every time we get an award. Every time somebody tells us I love the film, it's like, really? I'm so happy because
that's the reward in itself.
Yeah. Well, it's like like you're describing, if you're trying to make something to please someone else or to try to get into somewhere, it's probably not going to work. But you're doing it just because you enjoy it so much.
It's like Tarantino says, make a movie you want to see. And this is what we did. And it doesn't matter if like he says also, if you don't like it, don't watch it.
Right.
You know?
Right.
We made a movie that we liked. And I'm not saying it's the greatest film in the world. If somebody could have made it better, somebody could have made it better. But we made a movie we liked, and we're so proud of it. We're so proud of the people that helped us make it. I mean, it wasn't just us. Our cinematographer was magical.
Right. Yeah.
He brought in with his lighting girl, Claire,
and then
Naomi was the focus girl. And this girl was one of the hardest jobs. She had to keep the focus on me. And me, I'm 100 miles an hour. You know, you try to stop me, my energy level, and that was her hard job. But she managed it. I didn't see any blurs or anything.
Right. No, there wasn't any. There wasn't any
music.
We had
Our sound guys. We had two. We had a friend of hers, Albert Chambers, that he does music. He's got a
Juno Award.
He's got a studio here. He does music, and he goes. He saw our movie. He goes, no, I'll do it, and he did it practically for nothing. I mean, we want to pay him. No. He goes, I'll do it.
He's like, I love the movie.
She's my friend. From high school. I'm going to do this movie, and he had a lot of hard work. He had to split up 2 mics and the boom. And the boom. So cleared it all up. We got it. We brought it to another level. We worked with Matt Sherman. And he did it in 5.1 stereo. He had the folio. He had it, and he gave us a nice sound. Then we had our music girl, Sandra Chechek,
a composer. She composed original music from
herself. And then our cinematographer came back and gave us days for free. We had no more money left. He went into the editing process with Matthew Morano, and they colorized the film, and they fixed it, and they did some offline stuff with the other guy. I forgot his name. Erwan. He was from France, and the editor JD. He just did an incredible job putting it together. Everything was shot in 1 or 2 takes.
Yeah,
we didn't shoot long.
And we shot it in 10 days. It was 10 days. 114
or 116 pages in 10 days,
wow.
And they shot, the editor, he had 1 or 2 clips to work off of, but we didn't need. I mean, there was never a line forgotten, just technical stuff, lighting, which was very important. The sun moved, so we had to switch the camera. And, you know, if I went back, there's other shots I want to add, but this is what it is. You're not going to just one for the rest of your life.
Well, in doing anything, you can only do the best you can do at the moment with what you have and what you know. So I think we all do that. You know, we all have a tendency to say, gee, you know, if I had to do that over again, but it's like it only happens once. You know,
I want to also mention one guy, Pablo Vieja. He was our recordist there. And when we went there, and we talked fast, and this guy had to pick up, 2 mics. He had the sound going off from the bottom, the boom, and he had to pick up where I decided when I'm in this room, when we were doing readings, we're nice and clear. When I was in that room, I decided, and he had to catch it. And he would tell me, it's very low, but it's not your problem. It's my problem. I'll catch it. And at the end, when we finished with the 2 sound people, and Matt and Albert, he asked me, I sent him, he asked me, Pablo, he goes, how much ADR did you have to do? I said, just 1 line. The line that we didn't do on set, which is holy, a slow motion line. That's the only one. And he freaked out. He goes, wow. And I found that little research. I found that like today's kids, a lot of the actors, because we are theater actors, we know how to project, and we know how to project with the whisper. So this is what they're telling us. So I have to go with that. I have to go because we're theater, we're clear, even though we're fast. So I just wanted to say that too, because there was a lot of little things. Our caterers, the food, we kept them happy with the food on set, which helped make the film.
Yeah, and we paid everyone except for ourselves.
That's the way it always is, right? It's like you pay your bills, and as long as you break even if you don't get paid, it's like a success anyway. As long as you don't lose.
I'm paid in my heart, Edward.
Right. Well, with all that, with all of those things going for you, both of you, you're performing on the screen, and then everyone else that contributed to all the other areas of the screen or to the film. It's no wonder that it won so many awards, because you're really deserving of it because you had a lot of good people working on it behind the scenes and the two of you on cameras. So, with all that going for you, it was a win-win situation. So, that's, but of course, like you say,
just let me know how much I owe you for those beautiful words you just said. Don't tell me I'm funny.
The invoice will be in the mail. Though. So, but no, that's what I was saying. No wonder. And I was going to say that you won awards for it at the Robinson Film Festival. Italy, what was it, back in April? Was it with Jean-Luc?
Jean-Luc Servino.
Yeah, Servino.
What a wonderful person.
I met him at Skip Town last year for the very first time in person, and he's an absolutely awesome person to know and speak with.
It's like Darwin,
but he's also such an excellent filmmaker himself.
Yes.
He's another great cinematographer.
Yes, I know. I notice posts of his, Jean-Luc, every once in a while, and it's like they're so crisp, and they tell such a good story in like a short amount of time, even if it's like a little short film clip that he posts. It's like exactly what he's trying to get across, either in a short film clip or even if he happens to post like a still, like a photo. You know what's going on with that, and so I mean. You both won. Let's see, what it was. It Best Actor and Best Actress.
But the wonderful thing about it. The wonderful thing, we won Best International Film, we won Best Actress and Best Actor, and it was incredible. When we were taking pictures, somebody showed up, and there was another award from the World Independent Film Festival, in which we had won Best Filmmakers, Best Actor, and Best Film and Best International Film. And this lady came up to us and gave us a plaque. She was from another part of Italy that it was there. I didn't know where it was. I couldn't go everywhere,
Right.
She gave us a plaque for Best of the Best 2022, 2023. And we're like, oh my God, it was incredible. And then there was a man staring at me, a distinguished gentleman with a beard, suit on. He looked like a gangster, don't tell him. Anyway, so I asked Jean-Luc, I said, Jean-Luc, what's that? He goes, oh, that's the mayor from my town. In the next town.
Oh, wow.
I go, what is he looking at me like that? What does he want? He goes, oh, he wants to take a selfie with you.
Wow.
It was the most beautiful thing to hear. So Naples was very special in our heart, very beautiful. And then we stuck around for another 12 days after it, and we just walked around, which is what's great about festivals.
We visited the south of Italy, and so that was
really nice. Yes, we visited Pompeii,
Oh, wow.
So when we hiked
festivals were bringing us all over the world. It was very beautiful, and it was and some of the most beautiful people I ever met were in Naples. The Naples people are just incredible. They speak with the canary birds, the beautiful voices. They're very, very.
And also the best coffee I've ever had in my life.
Right. Oh yeah, I was going to say.
The espresso is made with the water that's coming from Mount Vesuvius, and so it's apparently the tastiest and cleanest water in all of the earth.
Okay.
And it just makes the best coffee you ever had. Yeah, but we were in Italy for 12 days. We came home for a few days. We went to Oklahoma.
He's going to talk about.
Sorry.
Oh, you know about Oklahoma, right?
We were in Oklahoma and then from Oklahoma we came back home for a couple of days, and then we were in New York City. And it was so time warpy and
so different.
So different.
Right.
Like, cultures, like we're going from Italy where everything is squished together and all the cars are small to Oklahoma where everything is spaced out, and then going to New York City where everything is just it was like really wild to do that.
It's like you're going from one end of the world where things are done a certain way, and you're coming back to the other side of the world where things are done a certain way, and so it's almost like a culture clash, right? It's like you don't know which way to go. You've been here where things are slower. You've been where things are faster. It's like, oh my God, how do I act now? Do I act slower where I came from, faster where I'm going?
I just remain who I am.
But
I'm transparent of who I am. Always. People.
And the underlying the connection between all of them is that I guess we were around a lot of artists and filmmakers, and everybody was just so happy and giving and kind and respectful.
Artists are just
Oh, they are.
Films.
Oh, we see practically every film we can. And we're there from night to day. You could ask Vince from Skip, yeah, day to night from Skip Town. We were there 10 o'clock in the morning all the way to 10 o'clock at night, trying to watch everybody's films.
Because it's important to support other filmmakers.
Oh, it is. It is.
A lot of times at these festivals, it's only other filmmakers or friends, and so
well, they're incredible films.
And so like, we're lucky to be able to see. I saw some of the best movies I've ever seen in my life at these festivals, and I think we've seen like probably over 1,000 films in this last year.
In one festival here in Canada before we left for Barcelona. It was a Montreal festival, one of the best festivals I see because they support Montrealers. And we saw 52 shorts in one day. Some were 2 minutes, some were long, and there was one feature. We saw them all. We're so proud to see them, and they were fantastic. Yeah. You know. And then we saw a movie that I'm not going to mention the movie because I don't want to slap anybody. Yeah. We saw a movie that came from Hollywood, and we're sitting there.
I'm going to have to interrupt the both of you for a minute. I lost your video. I can hear you, but I can't see you.
At what point was it?
Just now. Okay, you're back on right now. Okay.
There we go.
Okay. See,
sorry, she slapped me, so I didn't want to show it.
Oh, see, this is what I'm talking about. Anything can happen here, so we just go with the flow. So keep going on talking what you were talking about.
We're talking about seeing a Hollywood film on a big screen, and it wasn't I was disappointed. It's just that it's the independent, especially short films. They're just I find shooting a short film much harder than a feature because you have so much to say, but 20 minutes, 12 minutes, 7 minutes, some stuff 2 minutes. One girl did one in Robinson, the Greek girl. It was a 2 minute,
1 minute. It was a micro short. It was called.
That was just brilliant, and I'm just saying, her name is Julia, and it was just brilliant. So it just shows you the different talents. You might 1 minute could have taken her maybe 9 months to do. Right. It was crafty, and then Scarpiccimente, we had the idea in our head. We sat down, we wrote it in 3 nights. 3 sit downs.
And you said it was what? You said it was what? 110 pages?
114 or 116? I can't remember. Yeah, and we sat down, and then there's other. We wrote a monologue once, which took me 100 hours. So it all depends what roles. Right. Scarpiccimente was more, we're so familiar with the characters.
Also at the independent film festivals, like we've seen a lot of films that surprised us, that thought outside the box, that didn't go by industry standards, like this and this and this happens. Like they had original stories and took me places I didn't expect. Whereas for the Hollywood films, at least that we've seen recently, like I know Everland's coming up, every situation is going to happen. I go to a horror movie and I sit there going, okay, now this and this is going to happen. And so,
but with the independent filmmakers, maybe because they don't have big budgets. They don't regurgitate, because I find a lot of films here in Canada and in the States, it's a regurgitation from one film to the other film. I want to see something a little bit different, everybody thinks in a box. That's the last thing we do. It's like sign box. My signature is all over the place. Yeah. I won't think in a box. Yeah. That's what I'm
thinking inside the box. It's like that's where to me, that's where creativity ends. If you're always going to think inside a box with limits, you never give your imagination to explore, right?
It's safe, and in a lot of business, all that you should. But when it comes to artists, ourselves, I don't want to knock anybody, but ourselves, I can't think in a box. If I've seen it before, I want to do it different. Like in werewolves, we have werewolves. We're not going to do the transformation of the werewolf, because I saw an American Werewolf in London. I don't think it could ever be done better. So I'm going to do something else.
Right.
You have to come up with something different. Why try to copy? I remember in Robert Downey Jr. in Less Than Zero, he's a coke addict, and there's a scene where he's just coming down. He's trying to get off the drug. And I was in a play called Cocaine Eyes. I deleted that scene because I saw it so well, so done. I wouldn't touch it. You can't. I didn't think I could do it better. So I did something. I showed a high scene, which was easier for me, than coming down. And it was already done. Why? So that's what I'm saying about, doing something that's already been done and you can't do it better.
Oh, right. Because you can't let your creativity create if you're sort of limiting yourselves. You're like limiting yourself to what you already know and have seen on the screen. You're trying to replicate it, and like you said, there's no way that you can make it as good as that. You can try to make it different, which might end up being better. Yeah.
Every story is the same.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
all the stories have been done. It's just how you like Tarantino. He always takes something and just makes it different. Different. Or you get a guy like Francis Ford Coppola and doing Apocalypse Now. As soon as Martin Sheen gets on that boat, he brought you on that boat. You feel like you're there. The bullets are flying off you. It's really magical. It's really magical for somebody to be able to do that. And he captures you, just brings you in.
Oh, yeah.
Well, somebody else could have done it different. It could have been, but this was magic. That's one of the best, and also The Godfather.
Yeah, like you were both just talking about Jean-Luc's Robinson Film Festival. You got Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Feature Film, and then also you got Best Actor and Best Actress at the what was it, at the New York True Venture Film Festival. What was it, this past May, wasn't it?
That was what it was
Julian Biba
and Ilana, his wife Ilana, two wonderful people.
But here too we saw amazing films at this festival.
Some documentaries.
One was James Ivory. There was a short James Ivory from Merchant Ivory, and it's a kid that knocks on his door and he's like, Mr. Ivory, Merchant Ivory Productions. It's James Ivory, the director. And he knocks on his door, Mr. Ivory, like, I'm a big fan and I have a short film. And it was like a little film done of this kid that's just bugging the hell out of James Ivory. And James Ivory just trying to be so kind and giving to him, but his movie is like really bad, the kid's movie. And it was so good. And
we got that, a few documentaries, a few other films. We saw some great, and it was one that the production value. People winged it. They got bored. Well, they're very smart.
Yeah,
but that was another good festival. But that was the last one we went before we hit
Barcelona.
Barcelona. Well, let's see. Besides Barcelona, the Love and Hope International Film Festival, where you got best actor for that, John, and kudos to you. Kudos to you for that.
Films. And shot that I got.
Yeah. Before let's see, and then besides that, you got you won the best Canadian project at the Greek International Film Festival Tour of Canada.
Another shocker, because most of the films were in Greek.
Okay.
And we also entered LA, but they didn't pick us. I guess they went with Greek films. And this gentleman, Stan Popolkas, he likes Carpe Cimenti, and he won in this festival. And
it's because Johnny is Greek.
I'm Greek. I speak Greek also.
Oh, okay.
The festival that happens like all over Canada in the same week, and they show in like different venues all over Canada.
Yeah, they showed ours in Toronto and in Halifax.
And they show either Greek films or films made by Greek people of Greek heritage.
And we were shocked when they announced that we won Best Greek Canadian Project.
Yeah,
you can see the video when I'm up there. I didn't say.
We look like two.
I hung. All I thought it was my father, because I used to tell my dad. I say when I was in my 20s, I said, Baba, I want to be an actor. He goes, "You're going to be a caragiosos, a clown. Put on an apron and go wash the dishes." You would
wow.
Support in my eyes, behind me, to all his friends. Yeah, but he never gave me that, which gave me the drive. When I got up there, all I could think of is if my dad was in the audience at this moment. My dad passed away in 98.
Oh, okay.
He would have been yelling, my son. I know he would have been yelling.
Right.
So I missed them from being there. I was really, really shocked. I didn't thank anybody.
Yeah,
that happened to us also in New York.
Yeah, in New York too. When we won Best Actor, Best Actress in New York City, like we were in Times Square up against like really amazing films and acting, and to be called.
I was sitting there just waiting. We're gonna eat. Yeah. We're gonna eat. And when they called our names, I think they called your name first. they called her name. I was so happy. And then they called my name. And I was like, again, I was speechless.
Yeah.
And yes, also, yes. And not yes. So I keep on saying yes. Yes was the first.
That's good time.
Yes was the first festival that accepted us after 26.
No.
26. Sorry. But yes was the first one. They took our trailer and then they saw the film. They didn't screen any films here in Canada, in Montreal, because they were features. They only screened the shorts. Mm-hmm. But they nominated the film, best actor, best actress, and they gave us the award for best cinematography. So it was the first one. So it's always in my heart. I'm always feeling the guy's Danny Malin. He treats Montreal talent with a lot of respect, and we need more cities. Like I think right now when we were in Pittsburgh, they showed how they gave so many awards to student films, to Pittsburgh films.
But they were great.
They were all great. I mean, student films, you think they were made by somebody that's had 10, 20 years
right
experience.
Yeah
must be good.
Yeah.
And when we were in Pittsburgh, I mean, it was a horror film festival, but they took our film and it was a comedy we were under the comedy category, and there was only one nomination. There was only one award that we could have been part of, and we won. And there's another shocker.
Yeah.
And
they screened us. They only screened 3 features, and they gave us the best time. Like it was like they were so incredible. We met so many incredible.
Well, we met George A. Romero's widow, Suzanne Deloche. Actually, she was from Montreal. We got to meet
her. We hit it off with her. We got to speak with her for about an hour.
Wife. It's beautiful, and they were down to earth. We met a lot of the zombies from Night of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead. We met the zombies. It's just like it all started that whole.
And we went to the cemetery where they shot Night of the Living Dead and took videos and like reenacted some scenes, and that was so much fun.
Can you hear us?
Like I said, I mean, deservedly so. You had so much going for you in your film with your talent and the people working in the background, but like you were saying, it got screened at a good time at the last venue we were talking about. So I think that helps a lot too, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, the exact time that you're being screened.
Yeah. You got the 10 o'clock slot in the morning. A lot of people were partying all night in the beautiful nightlife of Barcelona. It's hard to wake up and you're there with one eye watching after. But we got some good times, and it was beautiful.
Yeah. I know, like you were saying before about wanting to see the most screen that you can. I try to do the same thing. It's a lot of them could be, like your friends or people that you first met, but I think you have to have like a certain amount of respect. Like it's like you would want people to come and see your film screen, whether or not you know them or not. And so it's like, I want to do the same thing, that it's only right and respectful to give them, the same amount of,
what you would like.
Right, the same amount of time and like the same amount of attention, that you would want other people, to see your projects. So,
well, in Pittsburgh, we were watching one of the last features, and we're towards the end of the film, but we got an emergency text from our kids that the smoke alarm was on. So we had to step out of the theater and help them stop the noise before the firemen show up here and all that. And I stayed till the end to make sure I tell the filmmaker, we did not walk out of your film.
Okay. Yeah.
As a filmmaker, when somebody walks out, your heart breaks. You feel
right. Well,
he gave us a Blu-ray copy to finish watching a film. What a gentleman he was.
Wow.
Very nice.
Yeah. Well, I remember in Barcelona, like before each and every block of films played, and Darwin would get up there on stage and announce what the next part of the venue was going to be like. He would always say that if you have to leave for whatever reason, do it before the next film starts, or like maybe during the Q&A or after the Q&A, but before the next block of films or whatever starts. So
but it's hard to leave the Q&A because it gets interesting to hear
It does.
So you don't have much time. So you have to wait. And to speak up, because I don't know if we talked about Barcelona yet. Did we talk about Barcelona? We talked a little bit about Barcelona. Barcelona was, I mean, you were there.
Yeah.
It was Hollywood.
It was, right? It
Darwin and his team, Marissa, Deborah, and Stephen Wilbur, they gave us a taste of Hollywood. It was remarkable. It was just like party after. I mean, we were going to a party where there's a lineup of 100 people.
Right.
Choco,
and
Choco, yeah,
Choco.
Come in.
Yeah, they saw us with the badges. We're like, oh no, how long are we gonna have to wait? And as we're getting closer, the doorman said, "You come," because they saw the badges, and we just got right in front of everyone.
Right? Yeah. That was great. That's all it took to get in there.
You were there. You were there. You were I saw you dancing with all those ladies.
Yeah. Well, I had to stretch my legs. Put it that I had to get my leg. I had to do my leg exercises for the day, so that's why. But
it was so nice that when it got even more packed, which was like I felt like a sardine, and there were so many people.
Right.
Club section, and the club grew. I couldn't believe the club, but we had to leave because we had our 2 kids with us.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Our kids to spend with us, Achilles and Daphne.
Well, they're 22 and 16. It's not like we brought our toddlers to.
Which we got to meet. So that was nice. But
that one bar, sort of a bar disco there, where they had like 2 different levels. I remember that on that. Well, of course, they had bars everywhere, but on this part of the room, they had another bar there. So there was a group of us dancing there, and they had like a black curtain.
Yes.
They had a black curtain, sort of, that was like even with the end of the bar. And so, I don't know, maybe halfway through the night or something.
They opened it.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, it's like people around me kept moving back. I says, how can they move back? There's like a wall or a curtain back there. I turn around, and the curtain is open, and there's another bar farther back.
Huge, yes.
Yeah, right.
That's one of the places that Darwin and his team set us up at. That was one. We had also the hotel on the roof. That was
at the
you guys ended your festival run there.
I even made like an on the fly interview there, advertising for people to come up because we were up there. I think we started at like 11 o'clock at night, and I think it lasted maybe.
We wanted to come. We were just so tired.
Plus, I know it.
Our kids were in Madrid at the point. That point, because they flew over 50 euros each to fly to Madrid and back, and they went to see a concert, 5 Seconds of Summer. My kids.
Oh, wow.
It was beautiful. We got to go to the beach alone, walk around, and it was nice. But at that time, we were so tired. We had to pick them up from the. We didn't even pick them up. They showed up. They knew what they were doing. But that was another nice bar. Then we had my favorite bar was the boys' bar.
Yes,
that was one of my favorite.
Yeah, I think from now on, that'll be like the festival hangout, right? The boys' bar, BCN.
They treat us so nice.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's I mean, it was so much fun in there, and it's like small and intimate, right?
Yeah,
and it's like everybody. It's like crowded in there, but it's like everybody's having a good time if you want to stand up.
There was another bar. There was another bar where we went where they were playing old music and we got to sing along. I can't remember the name.
It was one that we had gone to, but it was too packed, and so we went down the street.
Which belonged to the same bar. I can't remember. You were there too. I think you were.
Irish something.
And the drinks weren't that expensive, and it was nice, because Barcelona is just beautiful. The most beautiful people I ever saw. I've never seen people fit. They walk a lot. The city's alive. 6 o'clock in the morning, Saturday, I'm taking my kids to the subway station so they can go to Madrid to take the plane. And it's full of people.
Right.
It's full of people as if it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
But that's the city that never sleeps.
That's right. I think they've got New York City beat by a long shot, right? I mean, hands down, Barcelona. They've got them beat.
And let's not forget, we had open bar for us at that hotel. And I remember Darwin was trying to get it for another half hour for us, but I think they were demanding
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Money. He was trying to have such a good time. And then we had the gala. The gala.
Oh, right.
Flamenco dancing. We all got to, how many people were in there? 200, 250 people?
At least.
We all got to applaud for everybody. And, you know, like, I was blown away.
Yeah. It's nice too, because there was such a sense of unity with like all
there
the other
was.
And there all our like all our hard work, all of us, because we all worked just as hard on our projects.
Again,
it was wonderful.
Darwin Arena with his team, how focused this man was. He could be talking to you in a conversation, and the right eye is going to see if it's okay there. He's so alert. He is, whether he's going to be a filmmaker, because he's done films also, whether he's going to have festivals or maybe open up Universal Studios. This man is going to be so successful, and he's got class and he's got charm, and you have a lot of respect.
Yeah, and he never breaks under pressure.
Never breaks under pressure. I haven't seen him.
Calmer and kinder. Like even like he just whoo. And
maybe if I take him in an interrogation room, I'll make him sweat a little bit. You know, him and Steven Wilbur, we're gonna get him together.
You can have your own interrogation on the fly interview with them, right? The interrogation version.
They're beautiful people. I hope I know them for the rest of my life.
Yeah. And he's such a good friend too. Well, all of them are. Darwin, Stephen, Marissa, Deborah.
There was more. I didn't get to meet everybody, their names. There was photographers. There was people holding the door open.
Yeah.
They're volunteers. And they volunteers.
Always being photographed. You were always being interviewed. There
was
on the radio. Like
that's why I wouldn't eat.
Non-stop.
I wouldn't eat because there's snapping pictures.
Right.
Everybody wants a selfie. It was just like, wow. It's like,
I know that the gala that was like selfie central. It's like after before, during, and after
all the time.
And we had beautiful filmmakers there.
I know it.
And they won awards. They're all deserving. There was some fantastic films. Again,
definitely.
Festivals, especially the Spanish film. I was blown away by all the Spanish films. And some of them even have subtitles, but I understood it. I understand Spanish, but not fluently. But I understood it. Magical filmmaking, beautiful.
Oh yeah. Did you talking about Darwin's team there? Did you happen to meet Rodrigo Torres? He was.
Rodrigo is the one that did the Summer Nights. Is that one? Yeah, I didn't get to meet. I didn't get to talk a lot with him, and we had caught the film just like at the end. We were somewhere else. We didn't even know his plane was not there. Yeah. So you remember it? It's summertime.
You're thinking of Oscar Torre with this.
Who's Rodrigo now? Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Rodrigo Torres. He's on Darwin's team. During the award ceremony at the gala, remember there were two men on either side of the stage with the confetti poppers.
Yeah.
Rodrigo was on the left-hand side with his confetti popper. That was Rodrigo.
Every time he popped, I thought I had to reach in my jacket. I thought it was a gun.
That's the one of the other ones on Darwin's team besides Stephen, Marisa, Deborah. It's Rodrigo.
Also a big tall guy.
Yes.
I can't remember his name. What's his name? The guy he was.
But that's who he's saying.
No.
Oh no. I don't honestly.
He wasn't Spanish, Rodrigo. Maybe he was.
Okay. The fellow that I'm thinking about, Rodrigo, he is Spanish. Rodrigo.
Is he the one that's in the film?
No, he's part of Darwin's team.
I'm sure we met him. I'm sure we talked to him, but there's just so many.
I apologize for not remembering. I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's okay. There
was another fellow that was on the team, but he was in one of Darwin's films, or in one of Notel, or I don't know which one. They shot a film in Sweden. A big fellow. He shot a film in Stockholm. I met him. I can't remember his name. I'm sorry. It's been 1 month, but I just got back. I slept a few hours and we're doing the interview.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to think of it too there, and I sort of had a brain freeze on that one too. But I mean, it's like
there were so many. There were so many.
That's just it. There was so many, and you enjoyed them. You know, we enjoyed them so much, and the acting and the cinematography. Probably over 200 screened. If not more.
The screen was beautiful.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Screen in the oldest cinema in Barcelona.
Yes, I was very, and they've refurbished it and they've kept it up in tip top condition, and
and even just being in the Gothic area was just so beautiful.
Oh, I know it.
So it was more than just a festival. It was a vacation. It was to get to know one of the most beautiful cities in the world. I mean, and I told Darwin already, thank you so much for officially selecting our film to be in your beautiful city in this beautiful festival.
Oh, yeah. And
we have 2 more festivals to go to.
Yeah, and it's like I tell everybody this. It's like, to me now, Barcelona is like my second home, right? I first went there last year in the cast of Ella Muscroft's After Mum last year, and this year with my talk show segment. But like after last year, I vowed to be back, and I was so glad to be back because, like I said, it feels like a second home to me.
So you look comfortable. So I gotta admit, you look comfortable. You're happy. It's so nice to see you. It was so nice to see your familiar face from Skip Town, because I remember we went to McDonald's once together.
Yes.
We had a nice time. Got to meet you. I told you remind me of Robert Duvall.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yeah.
You're also an actor. I'm sure your audience know you're also an actor.
Thank you for.
If I ever need a judge, you look like a judge, and I'm.
Well, I played a judge. I played a TV cop investigator. So I play like a lot of authoritative figures. So I guess they like what I do. So I just keep on doing what I do. And I enjoy it. I enjoy it too. Yeah. So and you both keep enjoying what you do, because we were talking about that you just came back from the Pittsburgh Moving Picture Festival for Scarpetta again, and that was you were telling me, Olga, that it was under the dark comedy genre category. Yes. And which you just both, like we said, recently returned from. So
that was a gorgeous screen.
What was
29 feet in diameter.
Plush leather seats.
One of the most gorgeous scenes. It was at the
Lindsay Theater and Cultural Center. That theater is gorgeous.
And the festival was also paying homage to Romero Lives, George A. Romero.
Okay.
Widow was there to present one of the film's crazies. Plus, we saw Day of the Dead mixed in with our films. The George A. Romero Foundation was sponsoring, right?
Yeah.
Sponsoring this festival. I couldn't believe we're there.
Well, your film Scarpetta to me, it has so many like different flavors in it, but one of them is like horror, because like, without giving anything away, which maybe our viewers haven't seen it yet, like towards the end of the film, it does sort of become sort of like a horror film because of the way that the tables are turned on each of your characters.
It's the first when we were writing it as a play, we said it. The first 48 minutes, we're going to give them comedy. And it's just like in the Bronx Tale, when those bikers walk in, he locks the door and he goes, and now they can't leave. And we know when the whole film, the comedy stops, we know the audience can't leave. And we have them for the last 36 minutes.
Right.
We know. and it's nice. It's nice to have different layers. The film has got comedy. The film has got it's got drama, heavy drama. It's character driven. It's got story.
And this was
beautiful. The cinematography, the lighting.
Yeah. But this was a play that we did in 1996. We wrote this back in 1996. We did 3 months of research and then wrote it in 3 days and then toured it for a few months across Canada and the United States. In 1996, we were much younger, and to have done it now in the 2020s, like it was so different, and I can't say better or worse. It was just very different to play her, where everything that she had been like bottling inside was there for much longer, and so it just gave different layers to the characters, and it was a lot of fun.
What we did when we wrote as a play, we did like 3 months of research. We were in Winnipeg. It was freezing. We had to walk to the library. The internet didn't exist when we wrote this. When we wrote it, and when we decided to sit down, we sat down, and in 3 days, the script was complete. There was a play at the time, but the script was fully complete. And we went on to perform. We might have made 1 or 2 small changes with a line or two. And same as the film script. When we adapted, say, well, did you change a lot when you adapted? No, we added lines. Where everybody's telling us cut out lines, add sex scenes. You say this word too much, cut it, change the ending. I have a better ending for you. We don't listen to anybody. And we added even more lines. So, like we said, if you could watch a comedian up there on stage, Robin Williams or Eddie Murphy for 90 minutes or for 120 minutes, why can't you watch 2 people in one room? And it works. It works. 114 awards or 150 awards says it works. No, like beyond that, I can't do it anymore. I'm not Steven Spielberg. I'm not Francis Ford Coppola or Scorsese or all the other great directors. But for us, it works. We're happy.
Yeah. We're happy. Well, like they say, you must have done something right to get all those awards for both the film. And
I couldn't have enough money to pay all the judges.
Well,
for this film, I don't know if you know, but for this film, we had a little bit of money and we wanted to shoot it. So we're depending on Olga. Olga's a professional translator, making more and more and more. But we shot it, and then we needed money for the post, and she went to get it, but it wasn't enough. So we had to mortgage our house.
Wow!
We took our kids' college funds, put it in, we paid them back, but we put in to finish this film. Nobody gave us a dime. Nobody. And a lot of people try to claim the film after. It's like, but nobody helped. Nobody helped. It was our money. We paid every single person.
Yeah.
Right.
Except for ourselves.
Yeah.
You were in a film, I paid you too. I would have bought you a cigar.
Yeah.
Cigars.
Well, there's a little kid in that movie for like 30 seconds.
There's a little kid in the film.
He got paid a big bag of candy.
Yeah.
But everyone got paid cash.
Well, that's enough for him. To him, that was probably like $1 million in gold if you gave him some free candy.
That was $1 million in fixing his teeth after.
Right. Yeah. Well, I guess that's the way. Like an independent film that any of us ever do. It's like probably a lot of people. Like outside the industry, they don't realize that independent filmmakers mostly do it like out of pocket. Maybe, occasionally they might go like to a crowdfunder or, whatever, but.
Which we didn't.
Yeah, but
I'm too proud to take somebody's money.
Right.
My work.
Right.
But now with Werewolves, which doors have opened for us, and we will be shooting Werewolves.
Werewolves is a screenplay that we've written. We've entered
I think he was going to ask us. Wait, you might have a question for us or something.
Yeah, this is a good segue into that question. Now I can say, funny that you brought that subject up. So I'll ask the question now. So I was going to say that in September of this year, Werewolves, your film Werewolves, was an official selection. Along with Scarpetta-Semente, which was a semifinalist, and they were recognized at the Macro Project Film Festival in Florida.
Universal Studios.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about what Werewolves is all about, or expand on what.
Werewolves is a film script that we wrote a little while back in 2009, and we were supposed to produce with some people, but it didn't work out. It didn't work out at all. We just walked away right away. We saw the games being played, and we're not like we're very transparent. Let's do it. Let's do it this way. We
Right,
say what we're
right.
going to do. Nobody's ever going to control my projects because I rather not do them. I'll be honest with you. There's a way we write them. We want them to be shot, and like to all the Hollywood people that are ever going to get involved with us, if they ever get involved with us, I'm going to be just transparent and say this is what we want. We want to control it because we know we see it. So we wrote it as a film script, and then we went and we wrote it as a novel, which is doing fantastic on Amazon. It's been selling for years, and it's a film about 18 kids that are part of the junior ROTC program. That's but I don't know if Canadians know. That's the young army that the cadets that are going to go into the army.
Right,
and
right.
Their sergeant that teaches them all in one class, and the sergeant, he had a bullet lodged in his leg. He was a super sergeant. He was great in the army, but he couldn't be anymore because of that. So he wanted to train kids and explain them. And then he decides to take them for a week in survival. It's supposed to be on Thanksgiving, but we might change the date because of the weather. We'll see. But in the film, it's Thanksgiving. So he takes them out for a weekend in the mountains to teach them survival and to teach them unity. And that's where the film becomes Werewolves, which is spelled WHERE wolves.
Right.
Werewolves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about bullying and social commentary.
But it's a fast, fun, action horror film, and we put the script into into a few festivals, and almost everywhere we've either won or been
even we were nominated for Barcelona. It was nominated for a best film script.
And so at the Macro Project, which is part of Universal Studios, there we
were nominated.
There.
We didn't win. Somebody else won. Another great script.
And that's the one that we're hoping to do next.
That's the one.
Hopefully with Scarpedicci, we're going to see that we're actual filmmakers and that we kind of we know what we're doing, or we're doing something different.
And it's going to be Olga and me directing this. We have smaller parts in this.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And I have just a small part as a truck driver.
Okay. Yeah, I was just going to ask the both of you if you have any parts in the film or.
She's going to play Dilly. One of the main. I don't want to give up anything.
No. A secondary character.
It's a secondary character, and hopefully we're striving to get Michael Shannon. Michael, if you hear this, we're looking for you, and Joshua Jackson, that's from Canada,
to play his brother.
To play the two brothers,
okay.
And then
they'll hear this next week when it's uploaded to YouTube, so they'll hear all about your offer next week. Don't worry about that.
And my son, that's an actor, he's going to play one of the characters, Jeffrey Dalton. In it.
Oh, great.
I want all that. I want all that before I do anything because I want my son to play. My son read the book at a young age. He gets it. He is the character.
He's been acting
and it wasn't.
He was in a TV show.
Yeah.
He was in Fatherhood with Kevin Hart. And so he's got acting experience. And
this character is perfect for him. And I want him in it. And there's so many other kids. We have 17 other diverse kids that I grew up with.
Wow.
I grew up in Montreal. I grew up with the most beautiful area in the world. We were all the same people.
And the dialogue is very specific to these kids, just like in Scarpedicci, the dialogue.
It's quick, fast,
but it's a lot of casino talk because it takes place in Vegas. So Luigi always says no dice instead of no, and he uses lay my cards down, and he has casino talk. And in Werewolves we have created
a language of their own. Because
the kids.
they're always moving around. They're army brats.
Same style that we use. It's very quick, fast, and slick, and everything boom, 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 and very specific and particular to them.
It's harsh. It's harsh. There's bullying. I remember when we wrote the novel, we sent it to Shelley Lido, and she'd known us from doing theater.
She's a poet. She's an
award-winning poet, and she took it and she did. She edited it, and she was saying, "Oh my God, you guys are so harsh with the bullying, and can't you let somebody live?" And you're killing everybody.
It's like don't kill off everybody in the film, right? Before it's ended, right?
It was great to have her there and to point that out, and we didn't, and it's good. Actually, it's one of my favorites. One of my favorite in the world of plays I've done, and something I want to do is just one, and it's called The Wool Gatherer. Not my films. I've done Bad Boy. I've done Scarpedicci. I've done John in a Package Deal, and what else? Cocaine Eyes, where I played Bobby. Mm-hmm. This play was written by William Massimo. I think
The Wool Gatherer.
The Wool Gatherer. I think every actor should pick up a copy and read it because every emotion you need as a human being is in this play.
It's
And that's
in
where I
there.
learned
Yeah.
a lot of my acting from this man, and I learned how to write from this man. Where
Okay.
he would always tell us, it's good, but get rid of the beauties. You don't need the beauties. He says the beauties are
The darlings.
the darlings, something you want so badly, but
Yeah, that the line is beautiful, but it just doesn't fit.
Get rid of it.
So get rid of it, no matter how beautiful the line is.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
And the wool gathers, so it's male, female, and it's just
well, I'll probably do it again on
an
stage.
acting right in half. Like it just
maybe we'll do New York someday. Oh, maybe upstate New York. We'll come see you. Maybe we'll do it.
That's right.
It's my favorite play.
You can bring it to upstate New York. Bring it to Albany. They have Proctor's there. The well-known theater Proctor's in.
Down Vince wants it to be done as a play in his theater.
Yeah,
and I wouldn't mind, but that's Scarpa di Trementi. I mean, he wants Scarpa di Trementi to be done, but now that it's on film, it feels a little weird to do it back as a play.
Oh yeah. After you've gone that far with the film, yeah.
I know every line. In 24 hours, we could revive the film, and we would never even make a mistake. Just like on set, we never made a mistake. We rehearsed for 2 weeks, just the two of us. Sorry, with the dog. We'd walk down the street and we would run the film. We would run the film for 2-3 hours every walk, every day, doing it funny, doing it from the ground, doing it while we're picking up, the dog's mess.
Yeah.
Just so it could be spontaneous on screen, which was. There was never any acting involved. It was just, it was so simple.
Right,
so simple.
right.
We just needed some remarkable people to shoot us, and it was so simple.
Yeah. Well, just like you were saying, like werewolves, you were saying they had like their own language that they spoke amongst each other. So that was really like they were like their own culture, right? Because they had their own language that they understood each other, right?
And they still didn't get along. Just to show you, and there's still pockets of separation and bullying and racism. So we're showing all this, and the werewolves come.
Yeah.
Then
So like the idea for the story for werewolves, did part of it sort of come from like when you were growing up, John, in the area that you were, having to maybe like face violence or something? Did that have?
No. The whole story is that I love horror films. That's my first genre.
Oh, okay.
I love horror, but I said to Olga, if we ever write a horror film, it's got to be realistic. And one of the most realistic horror films that I love, again, it was a George A. Romero film. It was called Martin, where this kid thinks he's a vampire. And that inspired us to write werewolves. And although the kids they all have names from people I grew up with when I was younger, back in the early 70s, although that none of the story is relatable with the violence, it's different. I mean, I grew up different too. I mean, I grew up in the street where, we did have to protect ourselves
Right.
Protect ourselves once in a while. Things weren't always perfect for us.
Yeah. That's why I was wondering if there was any connection.
Nothing. Nothing. I was never in the army. I don't think I could take orders from anybody.
Well, we did a lot of research, and we had hundreds of Post-it notes all over the walls.
Oh, wow.
Just because the story is like, it's told.
Right.
It's all what taught us is America.
Right.
It's the whole movies that came out of the United States of America that I've studied all my life, and now I'm studying more films from all over the world.
Yeah.
But what taught me is the love of film of the U.S. I've seen every Best Picture Oscar. That's how I started. I used to buy the VHSs from Wings in 1927 all the way. I think I stopped at Schindler's List because I couldn't watch it because I was scared to watch it. After I still haven't watched it, but I will. I have a copy. I have all the films in VHS. Anybody know what that is? Is that a
we three know what it is, but some of them out there in Zoom TV land might know. Maybe the majority of them don't know. So at least
some of them are still wrapped up. I have never opened them. They can be worth a lot. Gandhi, one of my favorite films. It's like it's still wrapped up. I've seen it, but I bought I bought it so my kids could have it. And my kids
Yeah,
can
yeah,
watch
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I want
Yeah.
DVD, or they want to stream it. It's easier. They don't want to press
Yeah,
the button.
right, right, right.
Nobody wants to. You
No.
kidding? Press a button. That's work. Let me think of it in my mind. Like, Siri, play Gone of the Wind for me.
Right. Either that, or like with the old cassette tapes, it's like the old last minute remedy of rewinding it with a pencil. The old cassette tapes there.
I broke many a tape that way.
Right, right. You hit a snag in the tape and you try to go this way, counterclockwise, and then like they say.
You're fixing it like an editor in the 50s.
Right.
Tape.
Yeah, it's like you're turning the pencil each way. What did they say to remember things? Lefty loosey, righty tighty. You're trying to find.
Another context. We won't talk about it.
Yeah, right. So getting back to the story where you were saying that you sort of had notes all over the house. So would it be safe to assume that your entire house was like a storyboard, the whole house?
For werewolves, when we wrote it, we had to, because the film starts with the ending. Starts with the ending, and
or
close to the ending.
Close to the ending.
So something happens, and then there's these two bullets that go through a window. They crash. They're about to hit something, and bullets blur out in red.
Okay.
And then we start rewinding the film slowly, and we're playing the song. Hopefully, we get Styx's Renegade. Oh, mama, you know that song that starts.
Yeah.
And slowly, as it goes, boom, boom, it's going back until the bullets are back. The windows back up, and the bullets go into the two rifles in the dark. And in the dark, the music picks up. And boom, we're in high school, and you see the first character, which is Doris. We're in high school, and the story takes place, and then we'll bring you back to where we're at, but we want to show everybody how we got there. So we're telling the story towards the end. It's just and normally we never do flashbacks or anything, but we're telling the story in a different way.
Yeah,
I think it'd be nice cinematically.
Yes, and usually, like everything we've written, we're two-handers, and so we had another play that we did off Broadway too, called Bad Boy, and that one we had adapted into a screenplay years ago, like in the late 90s.
Yeah.
And anyways, it didn't pan out. There we had a lot of characters, but in this one, it was the first time that we actually wrote from scratch. Like we didn't adapt one of our plays. It was like a fresh story, and it's a lot of people in it, and so we wanted to make sure that it was interesting and that we remained interested and that we knew that each one had a voice, their own voice, so that not everyone sounds the same. So we had just notes everywhere.
But some people are saying, 18 kids, that's too much to work with. Don't worry about it. I'm going to work with them. I will take these 18 kids, put them in a room with us, and I'm going to rehearse them for a month. I don't care. That's the budget I want. I want to rehearse, because I'm not worried about if I get someone like Michael Shannon or Joshua Jackson, but these kids are going to have to really mix in and get it going. And kids are incredible. I met 17, 18-year-olds in Skip Town.
In Skip Town. I went at the movies. I forgot what it was
I couldn't believe the performance. And there's a lot of us like that. There's a lot of us. There's a group. When you need them, let me know. They're all American. We're probably going to shoot this in Pittsburgh. We're probably, if it right with some people we saw, but even if it doesn't go right with those people and I get the money myself, I'm shooting in Pittsburgh. I'm shooting in Pittsburgh because I fell in love with that place, and I want to shoot it near the cemetery. They're coming to get you, Barbara. I want to shoot it there.
That's just like in Barcelona. You're talking about filmmakers. One of the young filmmakers that won an award there, I could not believe that it was not someone older that made that film, made by someone like much older. And there's a vast amount of talent out there, right?
Yeah.
Because they love it as much as we love it.
Oh, yeah. So again,
I can't believe you had us on. Thank you so much. It's so nice.
It's really been a ball and a pleasure talking with both of you, and so I'll say to all of you out there in Zoom and YouTube land, my name is Edward Osredkar, the host of Edward Osredkar's Entertainer Chat, and we've been speaking with John Vamvas and Olga Montes. of Scarpetta fame now. And so take a look at my YouTube channel, like and comment on this talk show segment when I upload it to my YouTube channel. Like and comment on all my other film interviews that I've done. And until the next time, have a good day. So long. And we'll see you soon.
Bye. Thank you.